Alright, second video, y'all. Second video for the day. Probably last video for a few days now down, so I know what else is going on with the freaking services, so to speak. So like I said earlier on the last video, I want to give you the names of the doctors that I listened to. I didn't give you them on the first video because I had so many other things I wanted to get through. So I'm just going to read off a list, just so you can take a note, maybe take some names if you've never heard of them before. I'm going to try and give you some background on a couple of them here and there, just so you got an idea. And I'll give you like the platforms kind of where you can go look for them. But okay, so here we go. Dr. Bryan Ardis, Bryan Ardis, he's an American fella. He basically put out the other day that the CDC, put out that in fall time to expect polio-like outbreaks for 5-year-olds and up. Loss of function of one side of the body, etc. Pfizer, however, are trying to push through with the FDA that 5-year-olds and up are able to be given the shots. So hence why CDC are pushing out polio-like outbreaks, just so you're tracking. Dr. David E. Martin, he set up a company called MCAM back in, I believe, like the mid to late 90s. And basically this company tracks all patents for different objects and subjects, like vaccines and also other things as well. Like really good listen. He's done a lot of interviews with Dr. Rainer Fulmick, who's also a lawyer. Best place to find them is on Odyssey, ODYSEE, also on Telegram under Rainer Fulmick. Really good guy. Rainer Fulmick took down Volkswagen a few years back when it come down to the scandal with the emissions on the cars. Apparently also took down Deutsche Bank over fraudulent dealings, and beat both companies as well, so it's kind of like a big deal. So that's Rainer Fulmick, R-E-I-N-E-R, Fulmick, F-U-E-L-L-M-I-C-H, Fulmick. Dr. Sri Penny, an American doctor, decades of experience. Dr. Ryan Cole, love this guy, he's from Idaho. The system are trying to silence him from what I'm hearing. Really good guy. He's one of the speakers for American Frontline Doctors. He did one of the last White Coat Summits for them. Dr. Simone Gold, founder of American Frontline Doctors. They've also got a site, AmericanFrontlineDoctors.com. Really good doctor, like squared away. Dr. Robert Malone, the guy who invented the mRNA technology, I believe, like back in the late 80s. He spoke out a lot recently regarding not injecting like these mRNA techs into people. Dr. Peter McCullough from Texas, outstanding guy, who's also like the big pharma or whoever trying to silence him. Rainer Fulmick, I've already mentioned. Dr. Michael Yeadon, former CEO of Pfizer in the UK, also a former chief science officer as well. Dr. Andrew Kaufman. Kaufman is K-A-U-F-M-A-N. Karen Kingston, she did an interview with Stu Peterson, I'll say a few weeks back, and she's a former Pfizer employee as well. She spoke out. Dr. Lee Merritt, 10-year naval veteran officer, medical officer. You probably see her. She's done a few speaks with American Frontline Doctors. Really good. Brings out the freaking ins and outs of what's going on with the military, on issues, on how many people died within the military, etc. with COVID and with said shots. Dr. Roger Hodkinson, doctor from Canada, and Dr. Gwen Holson. This woman is not really being out regarding what's going on presently, but looking at the video that I've seen, it was like around the mid-90s. She actually came out. She worked for Big Pharma, and she basically said, in a nutshell, said that the Big Pharma, there's no money in Big Pharma if people are healthy. So the stuff that they're giving you is to keep you ill or to make you ill at some point in the future, shall I say. So that's Gwen Olson, G-W-E-N-O-L-S-O-N. And like I said before as well, there's like so many more medical practitioners out there that you can find that are talking out against this stuff. Some of the things I want to touch on this video is on who funds the CDC. Now, not on the first video that I done, but the one that I'm going to upload before this one. I mentioned a little bit about IBM getting around here throughout history and that. Well, on the funds of funding the CDC, I've not seen IBM on here, but it won't surprise me if they've got like a subsidiary company or something like that. I don't know. Again, I don't know. You're just gonna have to maybe like research that or something. I don't know. But who funds the CDC? We've got AstraZeneca. There's a freaking list, and there's more than this as well. But I'm gonna highlight the ones that stand out to me, and you probably understand why if you're a good critical thinker or you're free thinking kind of thing. So AstraZeneca, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Biogen, CNN and Time Warner, Facebook, Google, Pfizer, WebMD, you got Dell, CVS, Coca-Cola. They're woke as hell anyway, so that doesn't surprise me much. Stuff like Adobe, technology type kind of stuff there. And when you go on CDC website, cdcfoundation.org/partners-list-corporations, all right, there's like the list is not just this, there's like so many more on there as well. So all of a sudden you see AstraZeneca, Bill and Melinda Gates, and Pfizer. But straight away there's conflict of interest right there on the freaking sheet. The next one I want to put across is, for those that have not seen it, this is from like 2009. Yeah, September 2nd, 2009. Justice Department announces largest healthcare fraud settlement in its history. Pfizer to pay $2.3 billion for fraudulent marketing. Okay. An official website of the United States government. All right, the Department of Justice. All right, that's where I got it from. Let's see. Let's read a little thing out here. Pfizer. Pharmacy and Upjohn Company has agreed to plead guilty to a felony violation of the Food, Drug and Cosmetic Act for misbranding Bextra with the intent to defraud or mislead. Bextra is an anti-inflammatory drug that Pfizer pulled from the market in 2005 under provisions of the Food, Drug and Cosmetic Act. A company must specify the intended uses of a product in its new drug application to FDA. Once approved, the drug may not be marketed or promoted for so-called off-label uses, i.e. any use not specified in an application and approved by FDA. Pfizer promoted the sale of Bextra for sale uses and dosages that FDA specifically declined to approve due to safety concerns. The company will pay a criminal fine of $1.195 billion, the largest criminal fine ever imposed in the United States for any matter. Pharmacy and Upjohn will also forfeit $105 million for a total criminal resolution. Alright, so Pfizer were pretty smart from what I'm tracking on this, from a video that I watched a little while ago. To save the skin and save the freaking company, what they've done is they brought into play a fictitious company, another fictitious company under Johnson, or Johnson, whatever it is, Upjohn, and then they did another fictitious company underneath that, and another fictitious company underneath that. Can't get my freaking words out today, man. So they had the multiple layers of protection. So it was like, oh well, Pfizer didn't know anything about this. It was this company, and that company like, oh, this company. So like, you see where it goes with that, like, so like it kind of like gets Pfizer away from the freaking big issue, or the big fee, big fine. So basically passing a buck to fictitious names, basically. A bit like if you own a limited liability company, all right. If action gets taken against the company, limited liability company, it doesn't get taken against you. It gets taken against the company. All right. So if somebody's trying to sue you, they can't sue you because you just work for the company, even though the company is fictitious. It's just a freaking building or whatever. All right. Here's a page from Dr. Fauci back in 2008. This basically talks about Spanish influenza, about what caused most deaths back then. First of all, Spanish influenza, that's freaking that's questionable in itself. For those of you that don't know, it didn't come from freaking Spain. What I'm seeing and what I'm hearing is that it actually came from America. What Fauci states in here is that around 75% of the deaths were caused by bacterial pneumonia, and bacterial pneumonia was caused by wearing of face masks, breathing in your own freaking trash that your body's trying to exhale. You're trying to exhale that trash for a freaking reason. All right, so when you're forcing that shit to come back in or build up in your mask, all right, it's not going to cause you it's not going to do any good for your immune system, nor your lungs or anything else for that matter. Let me see results background. Okay, so I'll read this a little bit out here. Background results. So background epidemiologic data on influenza mortality rates in 1918-1999. Although death certificates listed cardiac and other chronic cause of death increased in number during the time frame of 1918 and 1919 pandemic, for all age groups, death was predominantly associated with pneumonia and related to pulmonary complications. The pandemic caused a W-shaped age-specific mortality curve, which exhibited peaks in infancy between 20 and 40 years of age, and in elderly individuals. In all age groups younger than 65 years, the influenza mortality rate was elevated beyond that would have been expected on the basis of the previous pandemic of Russian influenza, which took place in 1889. Let me try and find something for the thing. It's there's a lot of stuff in this. Let's see. So on the bacterial studies in autopsy series during 1918-1919 influenza pandemic, it basically goes, this is on page 4, it basically goes on to say that wearing a face mask was the lead cause of build-up of bacterial pneumonia. And then if you look at what's going on now, obviously it's 1 mask, 2 mask, 3 mask more. But you can freaking pause your video if you want, take a note. Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to be speaking to a chaplain. We're trying to push for a religious exemption. We'll see how that goes, and I will update you again tomorrow once I spoke to him. Hopefully we'll have some good news and we'll see what happens. All I can say, I know my videos ain't freaking the best, alright, but I'm not freaking no video photographer or freaking video recorder kind of person, if you know what I mean. I'm a freaking soldier, I'm an infantryman at that, alright. I like to kick doors in and freaking do my shit. Learn to critical think. If you don't know how to critical think, just fucking research and you start doing it naturally. For the soldiers out there, not just in America but England, well, in the British military, Australian, Canadian, whatever. Guys, you need to wake the fuck up. As soldiers, do you wanna work for a freaking communist nation, a communist government, harming your own people? Because at the end of the day, what you got to think about is that, yeah, you might not be doing harm to your family, but somebody to your left or your right, one of your battle buddies, eventually may end up doing harm to your freaking family or friends. If you know where I'm going with that. For the US soldiers, I know as soldiers we all lose some freedoms, alright, but you got to take that oath of enlistment, keep all of it tight, especially that first part that I read on the first video that I done. Okay, you got to keep true to yourself, keep true to your nation, keep true to your freaking people. I know if shit kicks off, I'll be on the side of the people, providing it's for the good, for the better reason. Now, if you're talking about BLM and Antifa, who are far left, like Marxist and fascist groups, then yeah. But you got to think smart, guys. You got to freaking read between the lines and freaking start researching shit. But I hope you enjoyed the video. But whatever. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, evening, night, morning, wherever you're at. Alright, take it easy.